Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk, exploring the issues affecting all our lives. I'm your host, Austin Harris. Well, Let's Talk has been proud to support the International Women's Day 2023 by dedicating the month of March to showcasing vibrant and exciting local community groups whose goals are to cultivate, uplift, and empower women of all ages. On today's final episode, Let's Talk embraces equity as we feature a relatively newcomer to the local women's movement, Girl Power, a non-profit organization whose aims are to inspire, nurture, and empower young women in the Cayman Islands. With us in studios to learn more about Girl Power, it is our pleasure to welcome their founder and director, Ms.Pamela Small, and she is joined, to our great pleasure, the current reigning Miss World, Miss Leanni Tibbetts. Ladies, thank you so much for agreeing to be our guest here on Let's Talk.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my absolute pleasure, and I'm sure the audience are enjoying it as well. Tell us a little bit, Pamela, if we may begin with you, about your organization and Girl Power, and when did it start, and what are some of its aims and objectives?
So we started in 2018. That was the year of my first pageant, Miss World Cayman Islands, that Kelsey Woodman-Bodden actually won. And we realized right away as a committee that we needed a group that helped train these young girls a little bit before the pageant started, because they needed a little bit more time to train. And they needed a little bit of mentorship and training. So we got together with my committee and we said, well, what can we do to get these girls in our program earlier than just entering our pageant and having 3 months of training and then going on to an international pageant where they're, competing against all these women from all over the world that have been training for years. So we started Girl Power. That was a real goal of it at that time in 2018, was just for pageant training for our young women in Cayman. There was really no program, and still is not, except for ours that I'm aware of, that is a pageant training program. So that's how it all started. And then we got into getting women and young girls in there that wanted a little more than that. They wanted the mentorship. They wanted to learn, life skills. And that's what pageantry really is too, is just really learning those interview skills and resume writing. And yes, walking and makeup is a part of it. But it's also life skills, right? That's very important. When you're going away and representing your country and being an ambassador, you need those type of skills. So it developed into a little bit more. We started with 5 girls in the program, and now I think we have over 20.
Really?
Yeah, so.
Well, you kind of beat me to the punch, because certainly there was a question in my mind as it relates to the connection between Girl Power and the Miss World pageant, other than the fact, of course, that you're sort of a director or responsible for both. But maybe you can talk to us specifically about that partnership between the two organizations, if you will.
Right. So in 2017, I became the franchise holder for the Cayman Islands for the Miss World pageant, the international pageant out of London. If you recall, government gave up the Miss World. They were going to send their queen just to Miss Universe. It worked out really well, though, because I wasn't sure why they did it, but it worked out really well because the pageant started being both in December. So back in my day when I was Miss Cayman, I did Miss World in November and didn't do Miss Universe till next May. So 6 months in between. But the pageants have come together now, and they're both having those big international pageants in December. So there's no way you can send one girl anyway.
Right.
So government gave up the Miss World. I love Miss World. I mean, I had a fabulous time at the Miss World pageant my year that I went. And their beauty with the purpose aspect is really important. So I right away sent an email to Miss World, and long story short, I became the franchise holder for the Cayman Islands.
I see.
So we did our first pageant in 2018, and then, like I said, we realized that there was no training program.
Right.
And that was the connection. So we brought in Girl Power Cayman. So the company that I formed is Girl Power Limited, and under that company, it's a non-for-profit, a registered non-for-profit, can't pay salaries. It's very strict.
All volunteerism.
All volunteerism, and everything goes back into the company. And then under Girl Power Limited is Girl Power Cayman and Miss World Cayman Islands.
I see. And I suspect, Leanni, if we can bring you into the conversation, that's where the connection in terms of your association with Girl Power came from. What, as a Miss World contestant, did you find most captivating, or what was it that really inspired you to be a part of the work that Girl Power is doing as well?
Well, funnily enough, the way how I actually got involved in the pageant was because of trying to volunteer with Girl Power, or if I couldn't volunteer to speak to the girls in Girl Power at the time, I was a member of the Coast Guard.
Right.
So I saw the training that they were doing, and I was like, how about if I go talk to the girls, about being a woman in a male-dominated field, you know, and I went to the Miss World showing,
The viewing
party
yeah.
that they had. And while I was there, someone spotted me and was like, you know, you should enter the pageant. And I was like, miss, I wear boots every day. No, I'm not the one.
Yeah.
You know, and eventually they did convince me.
She's wearing heels now.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah. So, you know, I went there wanting to volunteer, wanting to give my time, and ended up in the pageant, ended up winning the pageant, and now I'm finally getting to be a part of Girl Power in the way how I want to be. And I've grown quite a bond with the girls who are in the club already. Like just recently we did a sleepover and it was fantastic. It was fun. We made empowerment kits to give to the girls at a girls' home, the Francis Bowen Girls' Home. There's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of sisterhood within the organization. So it's really beautiful to be a part of it and to empower these young women as well, to make them know like, hey, you're not alone. Hey, we're here to support each other. You have a family outside your family, that kind of nurturing environment.
Absolutely. And just as out of curiosity, are you an active member of the Coast Guard or on the reserve side of things?
I have left the Coast Guard. They don't have a reserves as yet. Okay. So I left the Coast Guard to go back to what I actually studied for, which is I'm the 4th female pilot for Cayman Airways.
Fantastic achievements on both ends. Well, once upon a time, I had a little something to do with the formation of the Coast Guard, and I'm particularly proud to see as many young women gravitating towards it for service as I see young men. And as we see across Cayman, women, as that old Calypso song once said, women are going to run this country.
Well,
and it's happening.
Yeah, ironic that you said that, because when I graduated from the Coast Guard, I won the Leadership Award.
Yes, well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Me
not in any way whatsoever. Well, we're going to get back to, particularly in terms of leadership, a project that I know you're working on that's coming up very soon. But back to you, Pam, if I may. As an organization, it's relatively young. You said 2017 it formed on paper. 2018 it became an active, nonprofit women's empowerment movement group. What have been? I mean, I know the window has been short, but what have been some, I guess, important milestones that you think you've achieved as an organization that has lent itself to the mission of Girl Power?
You know, I think being the only organization that really has this type of group and this type of training and mentorship, being able to train girls about women empowerment and being able to train them about pageantry and these life skills, I think that's really been an important part. We've done a lot of seminars. We've brought in experts in their fields. We've brought in some of the LA members, the female LA members, or parliamentary members, sorry.
Yes.
We've also had seminars on health and well-being. We've talked about scholarships, how they can gain and get a scholarship, how they can apply for a scholarship. We've done resume writing, interview skills. We've done things about the environments, talks about the environments. We've done tours to see different, like the mangroves and different things. So I think, every year it just gets better and better, and we get more and more girls involved in it. It is an organization where we're all volunteers and we all work, full time, and then we also run the Miss World pageant. So we can't make it probably as big as we want to make it because, of course, of resources, right? We don't. Sure. It's not a full time thing for us. But where we're at now, a few of our girls I'm very proud of. About 5 of them have gone on to university, but they're still a part of the group when they come back and visit. So that's I'm very personally proud of that.
No, absolutely, indeed.
So,
what are the age groups of the young women that participate in Girl Power?
So 15. We advertise 15 to 25, but we will take a few years older.
Okay, fair enough.
If they really want to come in, we try not to leave anyone out. So.
Okay, all right. And Leanni, back to you. We have a very big event coming up, I think, in April. Talk to us a little bit about that.
The event is titled Woman Empowerment Seminar. It's taking place at UCCI at the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall. It is the 1st of April from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the thought process behind it, or what led to the creation of this event, was from working with cadets. So I'm also a volunteer with the Cayman Islands Cadet Corps as a sub-lieutenant. And while working with them, one thing that I picked up on was that the cadets were lacking the knowledge of mental health, of physical health, of how to, like she spoke about, how to apply for a scholarship or how to budget. They don't know, and they don't have financial literacy, And then looking back, these are things I had to figure out on my own as well.
Sure, of course.
So the thought process behind it is like, all right, how do we equip and empower young women with the tools to achieve the level of success that they want in life? So throughout the process, we have two main topics, which is women's health and financial literacy. So under women's health, we have two main topics, which is mental and physical health. And then for the financial literacy, we're teaching them how to budget. And the way how it's going to play out is that it's a lesson and an activity format.
Right.
Because we want them to learn, and not only that, but we want them to take those tools and teach it to someone else.
Yes.
Because we want a better community,
Of course,
right?
Of course.
So that's the format that it's going to take. They're going to have a lesson, 10, 15-minute lesson. Then they're going to do an activity with their table, who is going to be a diverse set of girls. I want to mix and match the girls around a bit.
Yes.
And we're also going to be providing breakfast, because I want to make sure that when they come, they can focus.
Yes.
You know, if you're fed, you can focus.
All right.
You
Absolutely.
know, which is kind of, I guess, the idea behind the government funding meals in school now, right?
Absolutely.
So, and then we're also going to have a 20-minute break in between where they can snack again.
Right.
So their minds are fueled so that they can absorb as much as possible. And when they leave, I want them to feel empowered, equipped with the tools to be better in life.
Yes.
And to empower and equip other people. And I hope that somebody who is sitting in that seminar will go on to create more organizations to help people the same way how they were helped that day at that seminar.
Sounds incredibly exciting and an opportunity not to be missed.
And it's our first one.
And it's the first of
Yeah,
its
so
kind
we're
ever.
excited. So we'll probably do it annually. So I want
Yeah.
to thank Leanni. She's really put a lot of work into it,
Sure.
and planned it the way, you know, she's a real leader. If you,
Yeah.
if you can't tell yet, I'm sure.
Yeah, no,
she, so
Got
you know,
that crystal clear.
yeah. So she's taken it upon herself, and she's really done a good job. So
Sure,
thank you to
indeed.
her.
Sorry if I missed it, but this seminar, what are the age groups that we're looking at targeting? And if I heard correctly, it's not restricting to current Girl Power members, but really any
Nope.
young woman.
The goal is it's not focused on anyone at all. We want to especially target those people in less fortunate situations, something that we're exploring right now. If someone, you know, we're also working on a transportation element. Ms.Pamela is sorting that out for us. So that girls, like for instance, in the eastern, northern districts,
Yeah.
they can come as well and not feel disadvantaged that they're missed out.
So 15 to 25, the same age group as Girl Power.
Yes.
We're looking at those, and
Wonderful.
it's open, it's free, it's open to the public. It's at UCCI. UCCI
Right,
is
it is
partnering.
free.
They're
Wow.
partnering with us, so it's going to be at their Sobassa Hall. So
Terrific. Remind us of the
9 to
date,
1.
the date, and also how members of our audience listening in particular can register.
Okay, so it is the 1st of April, Saturday, the 1st of April, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And they can register if they go on Instagram or Girl Power. We have the link in the bio. I also have a website, a personal website, LeanniTibbetts.com.
Okay.
The link to the sign-up sheet is on there as well. And we'll have a flyer that we'll be sending to you as well.
And
Excellent.
they can
With
they can send a message to us on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
too.
and then we have the email girlpowercayman@gmail.com, and the flyer itself has a QR code. You just scan the QR code that sends you straight to the sign up sheet.
Wonderful. Excellent. Well, certainly we hope, this program and, of course, the subject matter will encourage a strong attendance, and we wish you every success in that. Look forward to perhaps having you back in studios to talk about
Yeah.
the resounding
Yeah.
success of the
Yeah.
program and, look ahead to next year's
Yep, absolutely.
event. But I think that's fantastic. Speaking of contact, Pam, back to you finally. For the audience members, again, in particular, who may be encouraged, may be inspired by a result of our discussion here, how can they become members? Also, organizations who, well, let's face it, lend support to such organizations. You are a volunteer organization.
we are.
It really takes
Yeah.
money to make these things work.
Yeah.
How can people support your organization, outside of membership?
So they can email us, girlpowercayman@gmail.com or missworldcayman@gmail.com, either one, or get a hold of me. Everybody has my number. And I'll be glad to speak to them. But yeah, we're always looking for sponsors and partners and support. Our partners from 2017, we still have those on board, but of course there's always room for more.
Yeah.
We are trying to grow Girl Power a bit and be able to do a bit more, but we do need resources to do that. So.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Pamela Small, Leanni Tibbetts, the present reigning Miss World, I want to thank you both for being our guest here on Let's Talk and for sharing a little bit of that girl power with us. From boots to heels, that's been stuck with me.
I just want to say one thing. I want to say thank you to you publicly for getting our scholarship for us. So Austin was the one in 2018, 2019 that got us our scholarship for Miss World. Thank you so much for your help with that. We still have it, so thank you.
You are more than welcome. It was certainly a team effort. It happened to be the government I was a part of, but you are more than welcome. And I feel somewhat of a kinship because I have had a relationship with Miss World and now hopefully one with Girl Power going forward. And we'd love to have you back as our guest in studios. And to our audiences, we again say thank you for taking the time to tune in. And we hope you have enjoyed today's episode and our month-long feature celebrating women in the Cayman Islands. If you did, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And please feel free to leave any comments you may have on either the Progressives YouTube channel or our Facebook page. Please tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. for another episode of Let's Talk, exploring the issues affecting all of our lives. I'm your host, Austin Harris. Until next time.